Welcome to the Coom and Currie Sports Cards Podcast, where collecting meets the game. Your hosts, the Tag Team Champions. Before we get into today's show, Coom and Currie Sports Cards would like to thank our sponsors, Kiwi Card Collective. Without KCC, we wouldn't be here today. We appreciate your continued support. Head over to KCC Facebook page. They've got tons of weekly breaks, NFL, NBA, WWE, and much more. Now sit back, relax, enjoy the show.
Yes, troops, welcome to episode 51 of Coom and Currie Sports Cards Trading Cards Podcast. Coom, how the devil are you?
It's like the back nine now, isn't it? We're on the back nine, we're on the turn.
We certainly are. How are you, mate? All right?
Yeah, I'm great, actually, to be honest. Fresh off the card show. I have been buzzing for this episode. Yourself?
I'm good. Oh, I'm all right. I am, or have been, hungover. Elvino did flow last night.
Elvino did flow.
Went to a gig, an early gig. Went to Maximo Park with friends of the pod, Huggins and Dom. How's your luck? Lot. That was an early start, so they were on stage at 7:15.
That's early, isn't it?
Yeah, so the curfew was 8 because obviously then the England match was being shown in the venue at 9 p.m.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, went from the gig to Fiddlers Elbow, the hub, the local hub of sports and Irish things and Guinness.
Hosted a podcast, weren't they? Hosted our podcast.
They absolutely did, yeah. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And one thing led to another. Drank an awful amount. We'll get onto the England result and what happened, but I also did something which is quite funny. It's a bit embarrassing, but I did it.
Oh no. Oh no.
During
legal.
The match.
Legal, I hope. All legal.
Something happened. Oh, something happened that was legal. Yeah, I mean, it was legal, but I could have been. How can I put this? If I wasn't in a pub that my mate ran, I could have been asked to leave. Let's just say that. But we'll get onto that. That's something to talk about a bit later on. Coom, what I would love to dissect with yourself. First ever card show by Coom and Currie in your good self in New Zealand in remind me location?
In Wellington, Porirua Arena, which is actually a different city. It sounds weird to say, Porirua, Wellington, but it was the Wellington Card Collectors Show, 5th edition, 2026. I'll tell you what the people wanted to know, MC. Where is MC? Is MC flying in for the event? There were rumours that MC would be there.
Unfortunately, swirling.
Yeah, unfortunately, those were unsubstantiated rumours. There was a no-show from MC. However, the show went on, and it was the amount of times I says to people ask me about, so your mate, is he in England or New Zealand? I'll be like, or refer to you, and I'll be like, oh yeah, the other guy that's on that picture down there on the table. Yeah. One day,
he's real.
Yeah. Maybe you're a figment of my imagination. Imagine.
Just a voice in your head.
Yeah. Just doing the pod on my own every week. People have just been too scared to tell me.
Yeah.
The hell is MC?
MC does not exist. No, I do. I'm here in the flesh.
He's there.
But yeah,
can't speak, can't lie. Wait,
Yeah.
he can speak and he can lie.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am talking Codswollop, right? The card show. Firstly, what an experience. We all tuned in to watch the all New Zealand lineup. Sorry, MC. So we knew that we were going as a collective. And what an experience. What an experience. I said before, like when I did the night market, it was kind of good activity for me because that was like a little feel into it. But yeah, getting prepped for the shows. It started with a trade night the night before. So I met in the flesh HR, Hamish, now friend of the pod, and Nick, KCC, sponsored the show. So we was at a pub in a place called Tower, And we had a trade night, which was good, which is more or less the boys watching the Hurricanes in the semi-final of the Super Rugby, having a few beers, which was good. And then the day of the event, absolutely buzzing. Woke up. It's funny because I think I said on the pod, no matter how prepared I thought I was going to be, I knew I'd wake up feeling unprepared. And it wasn't too bad, but it was like, I kind of wish I'd packed the stuff up the night before and things like that. But yeah, got it all packed up. Got down there, got in nice and smooth. Setup was good. And then we had like a vendor's hour. So before everyone was let in, you could like potter around, look at other vendors, look at other stalls. And BC picked up and I'm digressing a little bit into mail day, but I picked up for $3, this nice Origins Russell Wilson, numbered to 299. What a thing of beauty.
Yeah, the
I would
Origins.
say in terms of eye appeal, it doesn't get better. It doesn't get much better than that. That is just the card's got it all, MC. It's numbered. It's got Russell Wilson on it. It's Origins. It's got a white background with lots of colouring. For me, it doesn't get better than that.
It's an absolute bargain. $3.
$3 from Blunt Collections, New Zealand. Yeah, I had a little potter about, looked through one of the bins, bosh, picked it up. Nice start to the show. That set the tone for me. That was my little pickup. So I'll get back to my stand. We're all ready. The boys are ready. We're all priced up. And then the show's declared open. Now, I don't think it's unfair. I think sometimes when you're talking about a show and stuff like that, you've got to be realistic. You've got to be open to learnings and reflections and things like that. And I think from our point of view, I'll get into the good stuff first, but before, from our point of view, there's little things that we would do differently. But also from a show point of view, this is the 5th show. This is the biggest show that they've done. But there was a few, I think it's important to say how well generally it was organised. What a good job they've done. Everyone involved, from the big screen to the layout to the venue and stuff like that. The only thing that was a bit challenging was the speed in which people were allowed into the venue. So a lot of people were queuing in excess of an hour. And I think we found out since that a lot of people actually left the queue and never came in, because initially they only had one person on the door letting people in. So they were taking payments on the door, selling like exclusive card shows. The card, there's an exclusive sports card and a Pokemon card, and then there was a raffle. So that initial, I guess, kind of influx didn't really happen. I think we got to about 6 minutes past 10 and you still didn't really see anyone come in.
Right.
But they're small learnings for people to look at and how you can get that flow better. But other than that, it was fantastic. At our position, we said that we were going to be New Zealand's NFL, have the biggest NFL inventory, the place to be. And I think we delivered on that in terms of singles. KCC were there. So KCC had a lot of sealed product, which was good. A lot of singles. Brock was to the right of me. He did a lot of sales in soccer, in football, a lot of football cards. And then obviously myself and HR. HR had quite a lot of high-end cards. He had some absolute bangers in his case. He had a lovely Bo Nix white field level. I think it was a PSA 9. Yeah, I think it was a PSA 9. Absolute stunner, it was. Yeah,
What was the
he
number
had some
to?
nice stuff. And I think it was just an SSP. It was a white field level. So nice. Bo Nix. But yeah, I enjoyed looking at the boys' stuff. And then Brock's son Rhino, friend of the pod, he'd done his kids packs for a $5, which had some real heat inside. Some real nice cards. And me and my girls got a pack towards the end, 3 packs left, and we got a Chris Wood. I've got it up here, MC. I've put it into a one touch. This is one of them cards that is part of the PC now of a story. I got a Chris Wood auto.
Wow. I'll have a $5.
Yeah,
Dollar
from
pack.
a $5 kids pack. Yeah.
Yeah, really
I've got
nice.
to, the girls in time will learn to love that. They'll learn to love it. I'll keep it for them.
That's unreal.
But that was down the show. Yeah. So no, I was pleased with that. So he had a great time as well, and he did a nice trade with me. This really has turned into Coom's mail day, isn't it? Because I did a trade for a Kenneth Walker auto and a honeycomb for this quad. Have you ever seen a quad auto card, MC?
Don't think I have. I've seen like.
I'll tell you who you've got. You've seen Jules, haven't you?
I've seen duals, I've seen triples. I've also
You
seen
got-
I think there's an 8 one. It's like a booklet. But
Yeah, I think that's a good one, isn't it?
yeah, but 4 they sit really well on that.
He's
But I
not
don't
centre
know.
forward, the boy, is he? So this is numbered 9 of 9.
Bookend, beautiful.
It starts with the best wide receiver in the league, JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba. And then you've got Ravens, Zay Flowers. Then you've got Jordan Addison from the Vikings. And then MC. At the bottom, you've got Jaden Reed of the Green Bay Packers.
The boy.
All on one card.
That's
It's a thing of beauty. So that was sort of my big show pickup. I bought a box of 2023 Origins off Nick in the hope that I would get a nice JSN. I did not. I can confirm. I did get a Charbonnet though. Start it up. That was quite nice. But yeah, mate, the show was great, and I think what I really enjoyed. It's funny that I say the small things, but they had paid for this huge screen, which you've seen on the social media post. And Lily obviously came and sold her Lacana packs at the start. So she was there for a few hours with Emma and Poppy. And Lily saw our stuff, so it's sort of cycling for a video all day with all the sponsors on and stuff like that. And I would say every 20 minutes, all my pictures would come up and she would be like, oh, you're on the telly. But, you know, when I looked up and saw Coom and Currie, the logo on the play, I think it's a playlist more than anything that got me. But when I saw the logo for those on the screen, absolutely buzzing. You know, you've got in excess of 2,000 people looking at our logo in the whole arena. Look, some people might laugh or think it's funny, but for me, I was like, that's pretty amazing, to be fair. Like, from the inception of what we wanted to do and the podcast and stuff like that, just to look up and see our logo there doing the first show was a pretty cool moment. I quite enjoyed that. So I've put some nice pictures on the Instagram. But I think for me, doing the night market at Top Play was massive. Kind of took away that sort of, I get a little bit of imposter syndrome. You know, even with the cards, it's weird that I'm there, I'm selling to people, I've got a display and people are asking me questions. But at the show, it felt quite natural. And another amazing thing as well, a real mixed emotion. So we go in, you know, our long-term goal as a collective is to grow NFL within New Zealand. And it's funny because since the show, I've had messages from people about, are we coming to Auckland, wanting to meet us in person, and it'll be good to get more. I had a message saying it'll be good to get more NFL available. And I think we'll come to the sales side of it in a minute, but in terms of meeting people, in terms of getting the name about, and us actually providing a real good selection of NFL cards, I think we absolutely smashed it. And like I said, the plan, we said it on the podcast before, is to kind of, I don't know what the word is, MC, but become synonymous with, let's say, a good NFL spread throughout New Zealand. We kind of want people to want us to be at the show. And I think we kind of set that groundwork as a collective. And I think everyone's as important, you know, like you've got the established player in New Zealand, you've got KCC on board, and then you've got myself, Brock, and Hamish, who are passionate about growing the hobby as part of that group. And the more that we can bring in other collectors, and I've already, again, had conversations about people wanting to set up with us. So, you know, by the next card show, we could have half the arena that we're setting up when you've got this huge NFL or NFL driven selection. So that's the long-term goal. And so in terms of that, we absolutely smashed it. In terms of actual sales, it's kind of mixed, really. I don't think on the day I made as many sales as I would have hoped, because obviously there's been quite an investment in the inventory and the actual setup. But since the show, I've ran 2 sales, and that's all I'm going to run. And I think that I'll make that a regular thing. Once I've had a show, we'll have a couple of post-show sales. I've made 4 times what I made at the show in those post-card sales. And a lot of that is to do with the show. So, you know, like one guy, for example, he couldn't make the show, big Seahawks fan, spent the time to send him pictures of the inventory and stuff like that. And he made some real nice purchases. A second guy contacted me off the back of the review video, saw the cards in there, made some real nice purchases. Obviously run the 2 sales, and that's generated a lot of hype, all basically off the back of the show. So from my point of view, that kind of sits in the category of show sales, really. I'd include that in the whole thing. I think for me, it is important to run that sale after, because you do a lot of groundwork at the show as well. You have a lot of chats. People have a lot, and I think when you're especially in this day and age, and you're spending quite a bit of money on a card, I think it's right to consider it, to come down, have a look at it. It might not be right at that moment. You might want to go away, look at some other options and stuff like that. So I think it all kind of sits in that the show sale category. It's all driven from the show. So yeah, like it's funny because it took me most of the week just gone to kind of get over the buzz of it. You know, when you get the classic Monday morning blues, the Monday after show, you know, like we'd gone out for a bit of food after as well. So it's like a bit of a come down, really. It's a little bit of a high. You know, you've got all the people in there, you're talking cards, you're meeting different card people that you've had dealings with and stuff like that. And it was so good to put real faces to names. Yeah, I can't rate the experience enough. And hopefully we'll, we'll do so many more shows. I don't want to get the millions of fans out there excited, but there's talk of a possible appearance at the Auckland show. The millions and millions. But that could be too soon for us on this occasion. But I know that we're going to do the Wellington Card and Collectibles show in October. So that's one that's on the agenda. Obviously, there's the Wellington one next year. And I think as time goes on, we'll start picking up more and more and actually travelling around the country, which will be good. It'll be so good to meet, you know, eventually over the next couple of years, it'll be so good to meet everyone in the hobby that we're dealing with in the community and start putting those faces to names. So yeah, absolutely buzzing MC. If I could recommend anything to you, it would be get the UK branch of the Coom and Currie sports cards shows underway, boy. I think the Brighton card show could be for you. Set up next to Seaside. Form the UK collective.
Well, yeah, first and foremost, sounds like a huge success to show from your point of view, or from our point of view, from Coom and Currie Sports Cards. Sounds like it went really well. I got a couple of questions off the back of it, though. Obviously, I wasn't there.
Q&A session, let's do it.
Yeah, just a quick Q&A.
Quick fire, or?
Yeah, let's go quick fire. Hurricanes match, did they win? Lose?
Oh, they obliterated the Blues, yeah. They're in the final.
Glad to hear it. Congratulations to the Hurricanes. Not my cup of tea, rugby, but I know it is huge down under, should I say? I mean, in New Zealand. Well,
what do you call it, MC, for the listeners? What would you refer to rugby as?
Choose your weapon.
Egg chasing. Eggs, or?
Egg chasing, peanut hugging. Can't call it ball, it's not round. No, I've got no beef with rugby. I don't like it.
I can feel the listeners dropping off.
Yeah,
animal.
Yeah. I've been painted now, haven't I? Painted as a look.
Oh,
do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. Anyway, back to business. My next question was: now I spoke to Andy. Shout out to Andy, Seaside Sports. In regards to this, I'm not talking
Big up
numbers.
Yourself.
Big up yourself. Not talking numbers specifically. But in terms of, I know you said you didn't probably sell as much as you hoped on the day. Paying for the table and then getting to the end of the day, what was your return? What was it looking like? Did you double it? Did you, let's say, I don't know how much the table was and stuff like that. It's not sort of figures, but tell me how it felt at the end of the day. Did you think, oh, I'm up by X amount, that's good? Or, what we're talking in terms of trajectory?
Yeah, so I would say overall, in terms of what I've invested in setting up to be able to deliver a show, I'm a lot closer than I was, but I haven't broken even yet, because obviously we invested in display cases, different display boards, different sort of stands, and of course the inventory. Like we had the cloths as well. There was a lot that went into building that inventory, and I've not broken even yet, but I knew that was never going to happen on show one, even if we made more on the sales days. In terms of my table, I took one of the sponsor slots. We were like, I don't know if it was like a base. We'll go with base, like a base sponsor, like a low end sponsor, which is obviously what got our material up on the sort of screen and things like that, which I think was important for us. But yeah, like on the day, the sale, like I was saying before, the sales weren't where I wanted them to be, but the post-show sales have been off the scale. So I'm probably around that break. I'm a lot closer to that break even point now, which is it's nice going into whatever show we do next, because we'll have the table cost, but pretty much start making money from that show, which was absolutely to be expected. To build an inventory, to be able to go to a card show and actually have stuff to sell, obviously you've got to lay out some money. But I think if I was to look at it from, let's say that I had already broken even going into that particular show, so let's start from a clean slate. And in terms of the sales on the day and the post-show sales, yeah, I would have made an absolute fortune. But that money I want to reinvest into the inventory again. And that's the plan. I think everyone's got a similar plan, is that we want to just keep building that, so that we've got a nice turnover of stuff, and that we can bring that stuff to collectors and stuff. You don't want to end up at the show with the same stuff, the same people looking through. So I think it's important to keep that fresh. But I think we're realistic, MC. Like, it's unrealistic, isn't it? I'm saying, I would have made quite a bit of money if I hadn't, if I started from a blank slate. But that's never going to happen, because you're always going to be reinvesting in your inventory. So it's always going to be a slow and steady thing. But I think Brock said it on the show before, is it's not really about that. I think everyone was very aligned on their sort of reflections after the show, that I think for us, it's obviously contributing to the hobby's growth within New Zealand in particular. And it's kind of the experience as well, being there together, meeting, obviously working together, and we get on really well, a lot in common, and we want to do the same things. And then you've got the people that you're meeting. Like, it's probably people listen and think, well, there's a lot of stock answers here from what I'm saying, which is what people expected, but they really are the things that made the show. Having those conversations with people that you've had chats with or had dealings with, like, you honestly I can't tell you how cool that was. So, it's not just about like, oh, we're there as vendors. You want to make a bit of money, of course you do, but it really is about the experience, and it was for us. And I think, like I said, everyone's quite aligned in that view. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Next question, MC, ready to receive.
Do I have many other? How did you? I know you.
That was it.
Well, I'm just spitballing. I know you said you were sort of thinking it might be a tad maybe overwhelming if there's like a lot of people at the table. Did you have any awkward situations where you were getting John Smith over here going, "Oh, excuse me, mate, can I pay for this card?" And then someone else talking to you. How did you navigate it all?
Was John Smith there?
Big John Smith, John Smith, don't you?
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know he was there.
Very good, very funny.
Did I have any? No, not really. And that I think a little bit of that is to do with it was the night market. Just kind of going through that experience as a vendor, but not really. No, and I think there was never a point where it was like just chaos at the tables. And I think, again, having the collective, having Brock, Hamish and Nick set up as well, is that people were looking at, and I think that's one of the good things of having the selection. It wasn't just, say, my table. So people had, we had quite a lot of space as well. So people, there was a lot of offerings there. So, and listening to some of the conversations was awesome. People bringing in cards for us to look at. And I think Brock made a few trades with people, which was good. And I think those people learn, we learn, and you get to look at different cards and things like that. So actually listening to some of the conversations that were taking place was phenomenal. There was a lot of love for Rhino's kids packs. I think people got some really, really nice cards. And a turn up for the books for me was, I mentioned on the pod that Lily had made some mystery packs for Lacana cards. They were absolutely flying out the door. One guy bought 35 packs.
What?
And I kind of thought, yeah, like crazy. Like everyone, Lacana is I believe, massively on the up. And I had some great conversations with people. I met this one lady, I can't remember what her name was, and we were talking. She actually played the game. And we had some great conversations. But I was listening to, when I was refereeing at the weekend, I was listening to Sports Cards Nonsense. And one of the guys on there, Jesse, collects a bit of Lacana and stuff like that. And he was saying that they've introduced so they bring out obviously like new kind of, what do you call it, products or the new set or whatever. Let's call it a set. And they've introduced Pixar characters now. And that seems to have sparked a lot more interest. Now, I don't know what the final sale was, but there was a Buzz Lightyear Enchanted card that was on eBay, PSA 10, that was currently at the time sitting at $20,000. And he's convinced that Lacana's absolutely going to take off. So we've got quite a few. We've got 3 of these enchanted cards at home. No Buzz Lightyears, I'm afraid. Lily's like massively into it. So yeah, like, I was so surprised that, you know, like, but I was honest with it, you know, they're only $1, but like we had something like a minimum of 8, maximum of 12, and you get like these different symbols on which kind of dictate their rarity. So there was a few, like one below the enchanted is like legendary. So there's a few legendaries in there and ultra rares and stuff. But I think people enjoyed the pictures and things, like, so you could see the first card. They were like clear packs, so put like a nicest card, and like people were going through looking for like Elsa and whatever her sister's called. I can't remember. Anna.
Here is.
And the snowman, Olaf. Gotta love a bit of Olaf. My most favourite character.
Love to hear it, King.
But even I like the idea of a Buzz Lightyear card. I like that. Imagine.
No, Woody? You prefer Buzz to Woody, do you?
Yeah, big time. Big Buzz Lightyear fan.
Really?
To infinity and beyond.
And beyond.
What a character.
Well, yeah, he is. You are. Absolutely. Look, in terms of, I know we sort of digressed a little bit there, but in terms of Andy Seaside Sports, we briefly touched on doing the table together at the next card show in Brighton. But again, yeah, I think it is, from what you've discussed, that's what I would have to do. My inventory would have to be put in. What's the term I'm looking for?
Investment.
Got to spend money to make money. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So
you're not going to make. I was going to say, you're not going to make it back in one show. So like whatever you put in, even if you have an amazing show in sales, it's just not going to happen. You need, it's. Me personally, I would. I guess if you want to do a one-off sale and you've got some stuff to sell that you've built up, you could do it, almost like a boot market type thing. Yeah. If you've got the stuff there, but like if you want to get the tablecloths, if you want to get the display case, and you want to get something beyond what you've collected, then you're going to have to put money into it. Yeah, you could turn up, put a cloth over the table, and if you've got cards, you could sell them and you can make a bit of money in exactly the same way if you were doing a boot market. But once you buy the display case and stuff like that, you've then got to think, well, are you going to do multiple shows? Because if I just bought that for Wellington, I'm never going to make money. It's pointless. So I think it's what you want to do with it. And it's hard because some people would probably want to get a taste of it. Do I want to? So that is an option. You can go and lay out some cards and have a real basic table, and you might be quite successful, and then go, yeah, I quite like this. But I think it's interesting, isn't it? We could probably talk a long time about the difference between the UK market and the New Zealand market, as well as actually there's probably a hell of a lot of similarities in the fact that it needs to be boosted. It's on the up in both countries, isn't it? I think the major difference is in the UK, you've got way more accessibility to product and cards than New Zealand. So I feel like, I guess what we're trying to achieve is kind of, the more people you get in the hobby or you get interested, you're then going to have more scope for sales and trades and stuff like that across the board. Whereas, yeah, like in the UK, it's more, I don't know, it's kind of like, it's weird. It's probably boring for people to listen to now, but we say when I was younger, like, I didn't even know sports cards was a thing. It kind of grew up on stickers, didn't we, MC?
We did.
So the similarities are just getting more and more people into the hobby, I reckon.
Yeah, that's the.
Who knows, though, boy? I'm no expert.
We are no experts, but we're learning every day. Every day's a lesson. Every day's a blessing, as they say.
Could be talking absolute Codswollop, couldn't we?
More Codswollop to come later on in the show.
I've got some Codswollop.
Oh, me too. We're going to segue away from what we've been talking into the World Cup, and more importantly, the England match last night. Coom, did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. Boy. Yeah.
A fantastic result. Obviously, the first half was wasn't how we would like for it to have gone, conceding them 2 goals, especially right before the stroke of half time. That was a bit of a killer. But got to give credit to them to come out the second half and absolutely dominate the second half.
Yeah.
It's it's a great result, and it's the first time in 24 years where England have beat a top 15 ranked club in the group stage, which is a mental stat, really, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
So yeah, well done to England. Did you watch it at home, Coom? What was the what time was it over there?
It was an 8 a.m. kickoff over here. So it was kind of in between school drop off. So at half time, luckily I went to drop Lily off, and then Poppy and I came back and we watched it together, which is quite cool. I thought I've got some thoughts on the game, right? Because obviously there's no Liverpool players in the squad. It doesn't interest me massively, but I was surprised actually because I've gone off international football quite a lot over the last few years, but I was surprised. I did enjoy it. I really did enjoy watching it. And I think what's interesting is I think there's that yesterday and the feeling around it is evidence that what people were saying about, let's say, Gareth Southgate is true. And that sort of cliche when we say, like, even as club football fans, that if we lose, but we've kind of gone for it, we can be quite happy with that and things like that. And I think yesterday was a little bit of evidence that that's the case, because everyone's moaning. Like, for me, watching Gareth Southgate's England was so boring, like super boring. Yesterday, my only fault is that it concerns me that first Croatia goal was a good finish, but why are we getting ourselves in that position? The second goal was silly. Why is he allowed to do that? And there was some other chances, despite the domination. Croatia still had a few dangerous chances. That concerns me. But it is the first game. But what was amazing is that was an entertaining game. That is not. I don't think that's an England I'm particularly familiar with in terms of watching. And there's a real feel. People came away from that. The things I've seen and the conversations I've had. No one's gone. Not many people have gone straight away. Oh, like me, absolutely miserable. Goes, oh yeah, but we did concede too. Generally people are like buzzing from what they watched. So there is a lot of I don't know. Evidence that is the case, isn't it? When we say it, you watch a good game, even if you don't get the result, that's half the battle. You want to see the team put in the effort, and you want to see exciting football. And I think that was definitely an exciting game. And kudos to Rashford as well. Not Rashford's biggest fan, but that was a great finish, wasn't it? Shifted it onto his right, bash into the bottom corner.
Seriously good. I think I think from my perspective of the game, I think he played the subs were played at the right time and the right people. Like usually, it's all a bit predictable with some subs, especially at international level. But I felt that freshened the team up. Some of them subs. I know Declan Rice had a bit of a lower back injury or lower back pain, so he had to come off. But other than that, I think the rotation of the team looked like they looked. Yeah, there was obviously areas that they will look at, the chances, the goals, but in terms of the fluidity of the team in that second half, like all round, it was pretty much spot on. Like it felt good. Like felt like the ball was moving. They were moving the ball well, and their position, their movement of their runs, and just general position was really good as well. I thought Harry Kane's unbelievable, isn't he? I love him. I think it's great. As a number 9 and a captain. But yeah, Rashford's goal was great. And then it's what the other one? Bellingham got a story right. Let me get into this quickly. I don't want to. If you're listening or if you're watching, you'll see there's a gap behind me on the row of shirts that I have in the studio / shed. It is an England shirt. It's 2024 Euros shirt with Bellingham 10 on the back. And
what, you've ordered it? Well, that's what's missing.
That's what I wore last night to the game. What was I shaking a head for?
I just don't like the bloke. He's so arrogant, isn't he?
Right. Well, this is perfect. You've teed me up perfect for this moment because it makes me feel a little bit better about what happened. So I wore this shirt. First and foremost, I've gone in the pub and I knew a handful of people that I was going to go meet. I didn't realise there was like half of the football team that I used to play for in the pub as well. Caxton Arms, shout out to them, which is really nice. Saw some old faces I haven't seen in a while. They were there with like friends, partners, whatever. And I've been drinking for a fair amount of time at this point, probably touching 6 hours.
Were you MC hammered?
I was, by half time I was. And at half time there was a discussion on our table, specifically from my friend next to me. No, I didn't kick off.
Getting a brawl.
Very good friend of mine, James Baker. he touched on the fact that he said to me, "I can't believe you've got a Bellingham shirt on. You've let me down." So this is a joke, and I thought, I like him. I like Bellingham. I think he's great. I think he's a superstar. I think he could be construed as arrogant and all this, but for me, I like him a lot. Anyway, there's this whole debate about it all, and then obviously the second half kicked off. Bang! Bellingham scores. Now, in the midst of him scoring,
oh no!
I
You
don't
give
know
it some
what
of this, did you?
well, worse than that.
No.
I don't know what came over me, and I've never done it before, like in a pub.
Does Coom Currie Sports Cards owe a big apology to James Baker? What did you do to the boy?
No, I didn't do anything to him. It's probably to all the pub goers. I actually, I actually pulled my shirt off.
Oh no, 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 yellow card.
One of these.
Yeah,
swinging around the head. Oh no! Swung it around my head. Gave it a lodge, put it back on, gave it a Bellingham celebration, middle of the pub. What was he thinking? But he did the business. Bellingham did the business. Got us over the line.
Yeah. The arrogance thing, I think, with him. Like, someone was saying this the other day. Like, people, there's nothing wrong with a bit of arrogance. Like, I think you become a superstar with. Is Elton John if he's not a diva? Yeah. So
Sure.
I'll leave you that thought. He's got to be a diva, isn't he? It's part of the thing. It's part of the. It's part of the deal, isn't it? But I think with Jude Bellingham, there's the looks and stuff like that. But the problem with Jude Bellingham is that he, from day one, he thought he was the saviour, didn't he? Like, he thought he was the man. What I don't like about Jude Bellingham in the past, and this is not, he's fine, he scored. There's no evidence of it this time, but he's one of them, and he throws his arms around a little bit, if people misplace passes and stuff like that. I think he's just got, arrogance is fine, but you've got to do the business, and he's been a bit inconsistent with that. I think he is a superstar, though. I do agree with you. He's got everything, hasn't he? He's got everything in his locker to be a superstar, and hopefully for England he is. Definitely. But I just feel it's a bit too much of him. But there's no evidence of that yesterday. So again, more Codswollop from Coom. Talking absolute Codswollop. Get behind Bellingham. Get behind the boy.
Get behind the boys. Yeah. Fantastic result. On to Ghana next week. And I think at the end of it, there's quite a lot of emotion, wasn't there, from some of the players? Because that was probably arguably the biggest challenge in the group, and they've got through it, and they've got plus 2 goals.
Pretty easy in the end, wasn't it? Pretty easy.
Yeah. So happy days. We'll catch up next week on how England progress in the second game of the group. But look, Coom, let's move on. It should be, it should be. But you never know. You never know. Some of these teams.
Who we projected MC to get in the first knockout round? Do you know? They usually do these projections, don't they?
I think it could be Mexico. I think
not a problem.
I think
easy.
Mexico, then Brazil. It depends where we finish in the group.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah,
get some retribution for Big Dave Seaman. Yeah, put those ghosts to rest.
Oh no, you'll see it now. But look, we could talk about World Cup for ages, or I could most definitely. But look, Coom, we're gonna have to go through some of these, not quickly, but we're going to touch this because we've got a big segment at the end of this episode to go through. A new segment that has been previously announced, which will come to fruition towards the end of this episode.
A debut.
Coom, talk to me about, you've done a PCG. They've got an express service now, have they? And you've signed up to a couple of cars getting sent off?
Yeah, so I've done quite a lot of videos. We spoke on the pod about PCG. We know my feelings about PCG. Particularly in terms of the slabs, very nice slabs. I like PCG, local branch in New Zealand. I think they're in Australia and America as well, PCG. But it's nice to have, the grading company, particularly where you like the slabs, that you can get your stuff done in New Zealand, which is good. I've done multiple submissions. What I have never done with PCG is the express service. So a lot of talk recently on PSA and tag to some degree about PSA withdrawing the economy side of it because they're inundated. And it got me thinking about all the levels. I'm listening to these podcasts and they're going on about this level, that level, and all this sort of thing. So my cogs started turning. I went onto the website and I was like, I've never really considered anything other than whatever their basic submission is. And they're really good with their timing. So they say up to 4 weeks, and it's usually around that mark you get your card back, which is great. never had a problem. But I thought Big BC, for the good of Coom and Currie Sports Cards, is going to try. That's what we do. That's why we're here. Try the service, Coom. Report back to the fans. So I've sent off my Milrow Uptown and I've sent off my Milrow Colour Blast. So if you're listening, PCG, I want a 10. Ideally, that's the goal. I would love a pristine as well, where we get all the all 10s and then we get the special little tag at the top. I'm a little bit nervous though. Like, oh yeah, like it's a bit of a gamble, I guess. But I am grading those cards for my PC. So ultimately, I want them slabbed up. They're going to look nice on the display when I get them back. But they were posted yesterday on an overnight. So I've been looking on the tracker to make sure. I can never relax when I submit cards until I know they're safely in the hands of PCG. So I will be keeping the listeners through Insta and the podcast abreast of developments with that. Looking forward to seeing how the process looks. It's a 5-day or 5 working day turnaround. So I would expect to have them back with me by the next podcast. That's my expectation. Or certainly the morning of. So I will report back on the next podcast as to A, what grade they are, and B, little review of how that service is. So if anyone's thinking, I think, talking to the show, there is people that would be happy to consider PCG for their kind of PC stuff because they're nice slabs. So I think people will be interested in the service. And it's $40 for a sports card, $55 for the express service. So it's a few more dollars, but we all want our cards back, don't we? I don't want my cards sitting somewhere. I don't even want them sitting there for 4 weeks. I'll take 4 weeks, but I want them back in my hands. This service is right up my street, and I'm looking forward what happens.
Would you... I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask a question anyway. Will you be checking the status of what you're going to get, or are you going to wait until you get it, open delivery, and then it's like a surprise?
What?
You're too impatient, aren't you? Yeah.
I'll tell you now. I'll tell you how this is going to work, right? I'll compromise on this, right? Because it's not in my personality to wait. However, if I've submitted purposely the Uptown first, because I want the Uptown's lovely, but the art on the I know that the Uptown, like realistically with the Uptown, I don't care. I'm keeping this. I don't care what happens with Milrow or whatever. I'm keeping that card. That's never coming out of my PC. I'll keep that till the day I die. So I don't really care too much. However, that said, I've submitted it first. So when it comes up on the app, if I'm going to scroll down, right, and I'm going to look at that Uptown. Now, this is completely contradictory to what I just said. If the Uptown is 9.5 or above, I'll hold off on the Colour Blast score and I'll reveal that one live. If the Uptown is 9 or below, I'm going to have to look at the Colour Blast because that's going to have to bring me back into the game or finish me off. So that's kind of that's where I'm at.
That's a good leveler. I'm happy with that.
And I'll see how that feels. If I like the feeling, then maybe the next one I can hold off. But yeah, that's a compromise, isn't it? That's a good compromise.
Oh yeah, big time. We'll take the compromise.
Yeah.
Some news
could be a reveal on the pod, couldn't it?
That's what I was going to say as well. If you get the 9.5 or is it 9.5 or above? Is that what you said? Yeah,
9.5 or above on the first one. Then we'll do a genuine blind reveal on the Colour Blast on the podcast.
On the pod, absolute scenes. Yes, please.
Wow.
Wowzers.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Cream, I'll tell you what else is unbelievable. News of the World segment. Just a quick one. News of the World.
News of the World.
I've got an update for you on PSA, actually, from a UK perspective. So news broke, I think it was today or yesterday, I saw it. PSA Grading is coming to the UK.
Amazing.
So there has been a new PSA facility that's opened in Frankfurt in Germany. So they've said they're now going to have a receiving centre in London, and that should be live by the end of the year.
To be graded in Frankfurt.
I don't know the ins and outs. It was just, I guess, yeah. Rather than send it to the States, I'm sure it will get received in London and sent to Frankfurt and back. Yeah. I assume. But yeah, it just got announced that by the end of the year, PSA will be UK in the UK scene. So there we go.
What's your initial thoughts on that then? from your point of view, you've still not sent a card for grading. Has that changed? What's going on when you read that news? What are you thinking? How does that help MC?
I don't think it has actually. If anything, it's put a speed bump in the road, because I did have my heart set on ace. I think how PSA have come to fruition, and it's like, oh well, actually, maybe I'll do. Maybe I'll split it. Maybe I'll test the waters of ace before the end of the year, and then when PSA come, I'll send off to PSA.
I think you've got to go with what you like the look of it. I know this is an old topic, and sorry, you should something in my eye there. It's an old topic, but I think about this quite regularly. As early as yesterday, right, I was driving, and I was like, it still cracks me up that this obsession with PSA. Now, obviously, my caveat to this is, ironically, I still prefer the PSA slabs. So if your obsession with PSA is because of the way the slab is, then I get that 100%. No issues from me. However, in terms of this, PSA adds more value, that's a fact, right? So that's not even subjective. If you look at the numbers, that's a fact. PSA slabs sell more. But the thing that cracks me up is the reason why that is. Because essentially, like I was listening to a well-established podcast the other day, and they're saying, PSA are going to recruit more graders, they're going to train them and stuff like that. So it's not like it's PSA, so you're getting like the experts. It's not like another level of experts. These are just people that apply for a job and they get trained how to grade a card. No different to ACE, no different to PCG. Unless you're using AI, I think Tag maybe I could be wrong on that, could use AI. That would be more, in my opinion, these days. You hear these stories about PSA and various other things and that. So I think if you get to AI, in theory, you get more consistent. Everyone gets subjected. Whereas PSA, sometimes people joke and go, "Oh, it depends what side of the bed the grader got up on." That's terrible. Yeah. Like there's no difference, is there? Like PCG train their graders, PSA train their graders. These are just people that apply for a job, get trained to grade a card. What is the difference? The reason is that we as a consumers dictated that PSA is the one to be, and that drives up the price, whatever. So yes, factually speaking, it does add value. But what frustrates me is why it's got to that point. We are weird as humans. We are weird people. Yes. Really, it should be about the quality. If it's about the quality of the grading, then you pick, I don't know, maybe this day and age, do we lean towards AI? But I want to be very clear here. If you like the PSA slab, here's one for you. If you like the PSA slab, absolutely get it. If PSA were in Auckland right now or Wellington, would I use PSA? Probably. I'm not sure. I do like the PCG slab, so I'm not sure. Depends on the cost, but they upcharge. They charge a lot more money, and essentially it's the same thing. So there you go. Little rant. Let's move on.
Moving on to Coom. In the green room, you were talking to me about a PC update to yourself. JSN On-Card Autos. Is that now the PC chase for you? Is it just On-Card Autos?
So it got me thinking, especially at the show, because there was a few JSN Autos knocking around. He's kind of got somewhere he's got the small. I'll see if I can give you a demo. Yeah, so on the RPA, you can see here that his autos that sort of small bit, but on a lot of cards there's a bit more to it, and then he puts a number 11 in. So this is a nice RPA, but it's a sticker auto. So there's some of these. Card Geezer sent me one that someone was selling, which is a beautiful card. It was from Phoenix. It was 10. It was color match, and it had a sticker auto on. I looked at it and I kind of first looked at that and I was like, I want that card. That's my instinct. And then within a split second, I'm like, right, calm down, Coom, calm down. Do we need another one of these? Because I was selling 2 of them at the show. And then he showed me another one that he's getting, which is a JSN On-Card from the new product, the Tops product. And it's just a thing of beauty. And I said to him, I think at the minute I want his full auto and I want on-cards now, because I've got an on-card and I've got quite a few different sticker ones. And I think going back to the Dom Lot, how's your luck direction conversations, I'm not exclusively just collecting that. I'm really into my Arroyo stuff at the minute. But for JSN, I'm strictly now on card and I want the full auto. And yeah, that is direction. That's direction. So if you're listening, Dom Lot, direction. I know what I'm doing, boy. One Direction.
Love it, King. That's a good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad you explained that. That's a really good insight, actually. Let's digress into or segue, sorry, into favourite part of the show. Codswollop of the week. Coom, I'll start. Coom, I'll
Go
start.
on.
It's been on my. So I was listening back to an episode from a couple of weeks ago, and I said, and I quote, "I will not be collecting stickers for the World Cup."
No.
That is, first of all, that's Codswollop, because I actually am now. I've been sucked in. I actually haven't bought a single pack yet, but for my birthday I got a total of like 32 packs. So I've been ripping them like nobody's business. So that's what I've been up to. A lot of stickers, ripping. I haven't even started putting them in the album yet. I got an idea for that, for content, should we say. But my Codswollop of the week is, there seems to be a bit of a trend online. Don't know if you've seen any of these or not. I think I touched on these briefly, but they're becoming more and more frequent. I guess it would be, don't know what the kids call it, clickbait, rage bait, something like that, where people are purposefully putting stickers into their albums in the wrong places or the wrong teams on purpose, recording a video of, oh, look at this page, and it's like, you know, don't know, just like a complete mismatch of players on the page, and they've done it for I guess rage bait, I guess, and just really grinds my gears. But on the flip side of that, what they've done this year is what Panini, I think, have got wrong. Example, for the Brazil 2014 World Cup sticker album here that I found in the garage, missing a few stickers, but as you can see on here, they've got, see that class Jan Huntelaar, what player he was. Number 144. Number 144 missing in the sticker album, yeah? What they've done this year is they've done each team, or each nation, sorry, and it's set like 1 to 20. And then the next team, it's set 1 to 20. Now, what the problem with that is that there are a fair few flags that look super similar. New Zealand and Australia, for example. Ghana and Senegal. There's a few others. So people mistakenly put stickers in. They've gone with a number, gone with the flag. They've put it in, and obviously it's the wrong one.
Well, so it's like multiple of the same number?
Yeah, so it'll have, you turn the sticker over. I don't have any here, actually. Turn the sticker over and it'll be like, let's say England, it'll have ENG number 12, and it'll be, I don't know, like Bellingham, legend.
David Batty.
Lee Sharp. So yeah, that's Codswollop in itself, actually, that they haven't just numbered it number 1 to whatever it should be, like X amount. So double Codswollop for me there from the sticker album scene. Coom, Codswollop this week for you, Chief? What have you got?
My Codswollop is non-sports card, non-football, non-sport related. My Codswollop, right? Now, I don't remember this being a thing in England. Maybe that says something about us as a nation. But my Codswollop this week, right, is what drives me on a twist about New Zealand. When I walk past a zebra crossing, right, the cars stop like miles away. Like, I walk my girls to school every morning. There's a zebra crossing on our route, and it's a very narrow walkway. I get within about 5 meters of the crossing and people are stopping. I'm not crossing at the crossing. Stop stopping. Like, don't stop until someone's at the crossing set, right? So I found myself going like this, as in, I'm not going over the crossing. People still stop. What are you doing? Stop stopping. It absolutely winds me up. One day I'm going to have an absolute meltdown. It's become one of those, you know, when you hear these stories of torture and stuff, and they'll leave it's a little drip, just drips on your head, and you become insane when they want information. It's like that. It winds me up beyond belief. Like, people like, what is wrong with this guy? What is wrong with me? Stopping. I'm not crossing. I'm still 5 meters away from the crossing. I don't want to have to look at you and go. So I've been experimenting with how I handle it. Some days I go, I'm not going to say anything. If anyone wants to stop, I'm not going to go, you know, like, thanks, but I'm going that way. I'm just going to walk. Doesn't feel good for me. I'm back to, oh, I'm going this way, or thanks for stopping. Just stop stopping. I'm not at the crossing. For me, we should stop for people on a crossing when they are set and when they're facing the crossing. If they're a metre away or they're just on it, carry on. Keep the flow
Mm.
going. Don't stop at the crossing unless you know that person's crossing is absolute codswallop. It is, in fact, it's the biggest codswallop I've ever produced on this show. It winds me up. I'm almost tempted to write to the council and just ask them to move the crossing somewhere because just off my route because it is driving me round the twist.
Round the bend.
Oh, I don't get it. Even hopefully he's not listening. Even Emma's dad, right? When they were over here, he's driving up to a crossing. I'm in the car. He almost does like an emergency brake this one time. And I'm thinking, what's he doing? Someone's about 3 meters away from the crossing. How do you even know they want to cross? I was like, what are you doing? Like, even he's fallen into the culture. I don't understand what is wrong with people. I'll stop and let someone cross when they are set and when they're obviously going to walk across the crossing. I'm not stopping for someone who may or may not use the crossing. For me, that's irresponsible. That's not going with the flow. Certainly in England, everything you learn about driving is you want to maintain the flow of the traffic. You don't want that domino effect. It's not actually that busy, so that's a bit over the top. But generally, you don't want a domino effect because someone might cross. Nonsense. Codswollop. Move on.
Move on. Let's
Move on.
Let's bring him down. Let's bring him back down. Yeah. I saw the anger, the blood levels go up.
Yeah.
Coom.
Sorry.
That's a perfect segue. Obviously bring yourself back down because this is a brand new segment. Coom and Currie's courtroom. Welcome.
Order
in the court. Yes. Mentioned previously, Coom and Currie's courtroom we will accept submissions, I guess, to a degree from people. We've said DMs, we've got an email address in regards to anything that people want to bring up, whether it be sports related, sports card related, generally related to life. Pop it in. We want to discuss it with you. So we have had one submission this week. Coom, believe you've got the details for this, what do you call it, case?
Oh, I've got the details, boy. Yeah, just bear with me. I'm just helping the little one put her jumper on.
Yeah, not a problem.
She's popped into the studio. Pull your head through. Or put something else on then.
Coom and Currie's courtroom. Justice will always be served. Yeah.
Justice will be served. The jury, the judge, the executioner will deliver.
Right, let's get into this thing.
I don't think we're in a position to execute yet. Anyway,
Yeah.
we've not got our permit for that. Yes, so this one here resonates with me on many different levels. But we had an email come through from a fellow sports card collector who is going to go by the name Derek.
Yeah.
Derek would like to remain anonymous.
Protect his name, who will remain anonymous. Derek.
Protect his name. Derek. Derek's from Derbyshire. In the UK. And the reason it resonates with me is Derek is a football coach in the women's space. He is a women's head coach. And Derek sent an email in. MC and I arranged a little chat with Derek regarding this issue. But what Derek has said is that he is a head coach for a team in the UK. I'm just reading this information. He's keeping his name anonymous. Derek is very keen on growing football in the women's space, as am I. Always been a coach in women's football, and Derek's on a quest for equality at his club. But Derek feels that certain individual are trying to discredit him. In a recent incident, Derek was addressing the way in which an individual spoke to him, and he feels he was polite and asked him to stop being rude every time he spoke. This individual then complained about him. Derek feels there's a conflict of interest within the club's hierarchy and suspects that attitudes, as they are, will halt the progression of women's football at this particular club. So Derek wants to know, should he keep pursuing equality within the club as he loves his team, he loves his group, he loves his players, and all he's ever wanted to do when we spoke to him is just grow women's football? Or should he move on and find a new club that respects the women's game? Now, the initial details that we had from Derek were, it was quite brief. So we had a chat with Derek, and at this stage, Derek didn't want to say too much, but he feels that the individual that he's having the issue with doesn't want to make compromises that may affect a different space. So it just feels there's a general lack of respect or a lack of desire to develop women's football. So yeah, that's Derek's question. What should Derek do? That's really the judgment. Is Derek right to feel aggrieved? You know, all he's done is ask someone to not be rude to him, and he's on a quest to develop the game. And he's sort of getting to a point when we spoke to him, MC, that he feels that it's a credible option to walk away from the game. And like I said, it resonates with me being in the women's space and putting the effort in that this guy feels like this. I think it's nothing short of a disgrace, especially with the development we've seen in women's football as well. So what are your initial thoughts following the conversation and the information we have from Derek from Derbyshire?
Yes, thank you for your submission, Derek. The first submission that's been entered into the courtroom. First off, I feel you, Derek. I feel for you. You know, it's you're trying to do a good thing, yeah, for the women's game, and you're being held back, restricted, aggrieved, and that's not right. If you're trying to do good for the better of the sport, for the women's game, you shouldn't be held back, and you shouldn't be spoken to in a rude manner, and you should most certainly not be restricted in what you do to help develop that side of it. So the decision making at the end of it, obviously, I feel Derek is obviously doing the right thing. This individual or individuals are it's going to be negative on the sport, negative on the club, and bring sort of negative decisions and energy to all the people that are affected by it. So that is my views.
Derek was, we both agree, was very passionate. I think whilst Derek was keen to be the debutante on Coom and Currie's courtroom, and it was amazing to reach out, he didn't want to say too much, and that's absolutely understandable. But a lot of this revolves around, having the same opportunities that the male space have, I think, in the women's space. And he feels that, he spoke out to try and, I guess, raise those concerns and just get that equality. And I think the individuals that are in his way, are very reluctant to, I guess, take away from, let's call a spade from the male space. You've got to try and treat both spaces the same. And I think there's possibly a conflict of interest as to why that is through our conversations with Derek. But I think he's gone around, from his side, he's gone about this as professionally as possible. He's been polite. And I think he was just fed up of said person basically being rude. So he feels that, politely asking them to not be is a perfectly reasonable request. That person's then made a complaint against him, and he feels that everything he does is, he feels like he's being targeted. And I think he said, MC, didn't he, that he feels a bit of an outcast. And I think that's a real shame. And especially, him being a fellow sports card collector. And I think I've spoke about the team before, and that's, or the team, that I coach. And I think that's possibly why Derek's reached out. But I think it's a shame for women's football, because people that work in it, coaches, volunteers and that, they work so hard and they want to grow the space. And it's very, very disappointing when you get an individual that seems to have an effect on other people as well. And it kind of leads to poor decisions all round. So I feel for Derek. I really do. We'll start with your judgment, MC. So was Derek right to address the rudeness? How do you find should we go with not guilty? Guilty? Yeah, how do we find the defendant? How do we find the debutante Derek? Guilty or not guilty?
I wish I had one of the, what they called it, hammers, wooden hammers.
Yeah. Just
I would
throw
say
it out. Just throw it out.
Yeah. I would say he's not guilty of all the charges. My judgment is as follows. My advice would also be to Derek there'll be a time when it's right to walk away, move on, maybe go to another club. There will be a time, and that time will be felt. It will come to a point where maybe Derek's had enough, or it's just feels right to walk away. But for the meanwhile, in the interim, he's still got to fight the good fight. Yeah,
you have.
No, he's not going to give up. By the sounds of things, Derek, he's a passionate man. So we don't want him to stand up for what he believes in. Want him to continue doing what he does. continue fighting the good fight. And until that day comes that maybe he's gone, do you know what? That's the straw that broke the camel's back. Then walk away and new chapter somewhere else potentially. That's my advice. That's my judgment. What about you, King?
Wow, that we've made history. That's the first official judgment in the court of Coom and Currie. Congratulations.
Thanks, Derek.
I couldn't have said it better myself, MC. You're right. Derek was a passionate. Well, he's not dead, but he is a passionate man. And yeah, keep fighting the good fight. Never ever be afraid to challenge rudeness, to challenge someone that's taken advantage of you or whatever. And, you know, no one should be in a situation where someone's being rude. So yeah, always challenge rudeness. Sometimes you need to I guess drown out the voices. And like you said, keep fighting that good fight. Keep going for what you believe in. And stay passionate. Keep growing the women's game, by the way, Derek. Hats off to you. Keep growing the game because it is massively on the rise. And yeah, like anyone involved in football in any capacity, you know, amazing. Keep doing the work especially grassroots, without the volunteers, without the team managers. I've got an amazing team manager. I'm very lucky. Tom. Shout out Tom. Incredible. Him and his wife, Ellie, they put on for our club, for my team. They put on amazing experience. You know, like when the players go into I think I said before, when they go into the change room, we've got the nameplates up, the kits are all laid out. You've got, you know, like all the tapes, the gels. It's all there. They make an incredible experience. I'm really lucky because the team's massively invested in Tom and Kylie. Absolutely they love what they do. And the work that they get put in, they do from the team, but they don't get the credit they deserve. 100%. Like I remember when the day I first walked into the change room, I couldn't believe it. I think I said to you before, it's like different over here, you know, the grassroots football. In England, we've got 1 billion, like, one team clubs because it's, you know, it is what it is. But here, because you've got less clubs, the clubs are more run like, I don't know, almost like miniature professional teams. You know, like at our club, we've got, you know, like all the training gear and training tops and stuff like that. But it's really the people that make it. And I think sometimes, you know, I guess one danger of what I just described is that the clubs sort of, I don't know, they kind of buy into their own hype, and there can be that danger of losing sight of what's important. And I think what's important is the people and the people that actually make it. And Tom and Kylie, oh, fantastic. It's interesting, MC, because I've seen that the UK are moving a little bit towards this model of having a team manager. You know, you've got your head coach, which is me. Because growing up, when you say the manager, that's the coach, isn't it? That's the guy in charge or lady in charge. But here, team manager is like, does kind of like the admin, does the kit stuff and everything that is entailed, you know, does your team sheet, all those important things that actually allow the match to take place. And then you get your head coach. But I've seen my old club, the Leeds Medics, they are recruiting now for a team manager, which is absolutely what needs to happen. Because I remember like doing a lot of that match day admin myself. And it really detracts from your warm up and stuff like that. So I feel like that may be the model that's coming out. I don't know where that's come from or whatever, but I don't know about you. I never experienced that. It was always just the coach or the manager.
Yeah, absolutely. The game's evolving.
The game's evolving. But that was my summing up. I absolutely find Derek not guilty. You've done nothing wrong, Derek. I would absolutely urge you to stay. And as MC said, fight the good fight. Keep doing it for your group, because if you don't, you know, you believe in the group, you believe in the long-term development. It's people like you, Derek, that make that happen. So as long as you can, because it's going to be mentally draining when you feel that you've been outcasted or everyone's against you. You know, keep going as long as you can. But if you can, you know, stick with the group. Keep fighting that good fight. So not guilty. Not guilty.
Not guilty, Your Honour.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Right, let's move on. Cheers, Derek. KCC update I've got on the agenda, Coom.
Yeah, KCC update. I had a quick chat with Nick, sponsor of the show at KCC, about updates. Nick wanted to pass on a little bit of feedback on the show. Like Brock, HR, myself, really, really enjoyed the show. And it's good because I was saying before, you know, you have a look over and you see the chats and you see what other people are doing. Nick was always talking to someone, which is amazing. And for the KCC community, that's a big community. It's established community and stuff like that. So we're kind of new to the scene, but Nick, you know, he's got a lot of people to talk to and stuff like that. And every time I looked over, he's talking to someone. And I think it's safe to say, you know, even HR, for example, you know, that was us, Nick and I meeting HR in the flesh for the first time. And there was a lot of that for Nick. So I think that was great for the KCC community to have those actions. So yeah, Nick wanted me to pass on how much he enjoyed the show and those interactions. So that was good. I asked Nick for a few updates on what's coming up. So currently he's filling for a signature class hobby jumbo. I think we're 2/3 of the way there. I think there's a mini. So for you KCC fans out there, let's get filling those minis because I fancy a Friday night rip. So let's get those minis filled. Let's get those breaks filled. And we've got Cosmic. Every time I say Cosmic, I think of Rodney. Cos bloody Mick. So we've got Cosmic coming up. I for one cannot wait because I think there's an insert called. I'm a bit confused actually what the name is, but I think it's either Stars in the Night or it's Constellation. But it's JSN features, and I've seen the card, and it is a stunner. So I can't wait for Cos bloody Mick. So we've got Cosmic coming up, and I think Joe at KCC is doing some WWE breaks for you WWE fans out there. Jump on, get those breaks filled, and let's start ripping packs. That is my KCC update.
Thank you to Nick and KCC for sponsoring the show. Of course, we are proud of that relationship and where it's going, and I'm glad that you got to experience the car show with him. And yeah, keep going, KCC, because it sounds like there's some fantastic product coming out. And get involved, fans and sports cards enthusiasts. Right. Mail day, Coom. These have been sat in front of me for this whole episode, and I cannot continue without talking about this. So I got a value box of the new Merlin Premier League, Topps Merlin Premier League product, and let me tell you this, it's up there with some of the best cards that I've had the pleasure of opening and breaking myself. The cards are just premium, mate. Premium looking. So again, obviously the chrome finish on them is what
beautiful.
Is favourite of the month at the moment, isn't it? But they just feel they're thick. The cut of the card, this sounds really like, but the cut of it is pinpoint. If that makes sense. I know all cards should be cut the same way or whatever, but they're just superb. I just really enjoyed ripping them. There was, each pack was just really enjoyable to have in my hands and to hold, and some of the inserts are superb. I've seen a lot, including myself. I sort of opened them and I thought, I don't know if this is a case hit or not, because they look so good. They look so, you get like a pattern of what a case hit may or may not look like.
Yeah.
You may or may not know what they are in that product that you're ripping, but friend of the pod, Youssef, he ripped a box as well and did the same thing as me. And he was like, I'm not sure if that's a case hit or not. But I'll show you some more. So yeah, just some Ray Waves, rookie card, Soler for Bournemouth.
Nice Ray Wave.
Yeah, Ray Wave, Joe Willock. And then I've got this one. So obviously the Merlin is, it's like the height of Merlin was probably the 90s, wasn't it? So there's an ode to a sort of retro vibe. So I've got Diakite for Bournemouth in the background. I don't know if you can see that, Coom, but they are little like game controllers, like video game controllers in the background.
That's so nice.
No,
they look amazing.
It's a VHS.
Yeah.
So all them little squares in the background of VHSs, which is super cool. Got this Mystic Afternoons insert. Unfortunately, it's Casemiro, but again, look at that.
Yeah, nice card, isn't it?
Superb card. And then we move on to these ones, which we thought were the case hits. They're called Fantasy Football. So I guess they almost look a bit Origin-esque.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Obviously, so I've got Bellegarde and Matey Boy from Burnley. Not ideal, Bryn Larson. But there's those. And then you get two Tada inserts. Tada! Which look like this. Like Donnarumma, like graffiti almost in the background.
Oh, that's
Vulnerable,
very nice. Yeah, I like that.
and Brian and Buemo.
Yeah, very nice.
So that was good, but I got a hit. I got a numbered card, numbered 28 out of 75 on a purple
Nice.
parallel. Antoine Semenyo.
Yeah, nice.
28 out of 75. I thought that's
It's
not
a
bad
beautiful
going for a
card,
value.
yeah.
And the sort of the city colours to the purple parallel go really well, don't they?
Yeah.
So
It's not far off a colour match, really, is it? It's obviously not quite there, but it's in terms of eye appeal, that's a lovely card. And from what I've seen of Merlin, we spoke about it before. It's a stunning collection, isn't it?
yeah, I think with what I love to do is to get like the new product. I'd love to get a value box just to test the waters of the product. And I guess more often than not, I maybe don't go back for another box because I go, yeah, that's cool, enjoyed it, but didn't enjoy it enough to go, I'm going to buy another box. This sits in the realm of, yeah, I'll get another box. So watch this space. That was a really fun rip. The cars are class. Yeah, superb. But other than that, oh, it'll be coming, boy. Don't you worry about that. I've ordered some cards and I've got a couple of belters in there. Well, I've got a handful of belters, and by next week, hopefully, I should have 2 new Steven Gerrard field level cards.
Oh,
Two,
love to hear
not
it.
1, 2. Collection grows. Here we are. Coom, throw the baton over to yourself. Mail day this week.
I'm going to keep this short and sweet because BC has got to take the kids to school. But I've shown you my pickups on the show. I've not had anything in the post, but I just wanted to show the watchers, the listeners, this. So we got the opportunity to buy a show. So there was a sports card special New Zealand Card Collector Show 2026 exclusive card, and it's hand signed in gold ink by the player. So there was one for the sports card, and then there was like an exclusive Pokemon card. I did not buy that. I'd like to be clear on that matter. I bought the sports card, and MC, this will mean nothing to you, but I'm sure you'll respect the card. It is a player called Christian Cullen. He's an All Black, and signing gold ink, exclusive card. And you'll just see at the top where my finger is wiggling here, the NZ 2026 Card Collector Show logo.
Wow, nice.
Now, as you can imagine, over here, that was a huge coup to pick up a card like that. That was very nice. That will stay in my collection because that's the exclusive show from our first ever show. I'm going to put that in a top loader, and I'm going to find a little space for it on the display. That's your story. That's your big, in a way, that's the big pickup. Yeah, love it. I'll keep my lanyard. I'll keep this for the show. So yeah, that's kind of my mail day. I know I touched on a few things before. But like yourself, I have picked something up from the States. It's on its way. It's big. It's a post-show treat for BC. I don't know if it will be here before the next pod, but if it is, like yourself, I'll be presenting that on the podcast. So watch this space. However, MC, I've got a clock off.
Quickly, I've got a 1 of 1 in the post coming from the States. My first ever 1 of 1.
A 1 of 1?
Yes. Watch this space. 1 of 1.
Oh.
Unbelievable scenes.
A 1 of
Coom.
1.
I'll leave you with that. Any other business from you, Chief? Probably not, because you're in a rush.
NOB.
I've got one really quickly. I saw an advert for Tilt. You know this app called Tilt?
No. Tilt.
I think it's like
Lil. Drink.
Tilt. No, Tilt. Yeah.
Oh. Not Lil. What's Tilt?
Tilt is an app, and I think it's like a selling app. Anyway, the advert was a guy jumping out of an airplane, ripping a pack of Pokemon cards. In the app.
He's got an idea. You're gonna do it.
I was like, I thought doing them on a bloody cruise ship was pretty out there, but apparently not.
MC, I think that's something we need to do maybe this year, is something outrageous, an outrageous rip.
Well,
I'll have to come up with some ideas, boy.
Yeah. On that bombshell, I will leave you to it, Chief. But pleasure catching up.
I'll have to check the records. This could officially be the longest show that we've done. We've ticked over that 1.5 hour mark. It's gone quick, isn't it? When I started it, I was like, we've started early. I've got loads of time. Then we just got stuck in, boy. And what a show! Lots to talk about. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I could probably do another 1.5 hours with you. I'd have to draw the line at 3 hours though, but could easily go another 1.5 hours. It's been a pleasure for the 51st show. The road to 100 has officially begun.
Yes, sir.
And I look forward to hearing about your 1 of 1 next week. But for now, MC, regards to your family.
And regards to yours, Coom. See you on the next one, Chief.
Over and out.
Over and out.